Hi everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the Honda VFR as a used buy. A couple of things I missed off the first video, so if you've not watched that, if you just look on my channel you'll find it there. And that was to do with the braking. I did say I would mention the braking later on in the video, but I didn't actually. I also want to mention the shaft drive, and of course I'd like to mention the headlight, which some people often ask how good it is. It's quite a monster really when you look at it. Okay, but let's start with the brakes. The link brakes, obviously it's got ABS, and first time I've had a link brake system. The rear brake operates the rear, of course, but it also puts on, as you press the rear brake, puts on the two pistons in the front caliper, hence this extra hose here I believe. And when you put the front brake on, obviously it then kicks in with the full 6 pistons. The rear brake is actually hidden away a little bit, tucked up where they can collect a lot of dirt, tucked up right under there. Now, to be honest, a lot of the reports that I read, magazines and reviews, they didn't really say too much about the brakes, apart from them being linked and such like. But I thought they would have put them at about a 8.5 out of 10. My experience, about 8 actually. I'm not disappointed in them, and in the short time I've had the bike, 4,000 miles, I've ridden. I've never had any reason to doubt them, and they've always pulled me up when you've had one of those shit times coming into a corner too quick. But I think it's something to do with that long wheelbase, and obviously the weighty back end. Because what you find is if you really pile on the brakes, you always feel like the front is, obviously the ABS would kick in, but you always feel like the front would push on rather than dig into the tarmac. Like my previous sporty type bikes, when you've hauled on the brake, they felt like they would ruck up the tarmac like a carpet. But on these you feel that ultimately it would start to push, like it would never ever do a stoppie. But as I say, they're not bad, and it's probably one of the average things I would say about the bike. Though is what I would say is the sintered pads that appear to be in these calipers. You have to be careful when you're cleaning the bike, because if you don't get it fully dry, that disc, it does stick a bit. If you put it away in the garage and then move the bike the next day, it takes a bit of a tug to break it away. So as I say, that's the only gripe we have with the brakes. They have a nice feel to them though in normal use. Okay, the headlight. I'd read reports in various magazines, again I'm always referring to magazines because I do a lot of reading before I buy a bike, that the headlight was okay on dip beam but a bit poor on main beam. I find it's really good on dip beam. It's got a lovely spread, and on main beam, yeah, but again, like most bikes I've owned, main beam isn't that good. It just sort of like, I don't know, it sort of like diminishes the light in front of you and doesn't do a great deal about the light way ahead of you. So I find I leave it on dip beam for quite some time. So all in all, I don't mind it too much. What I do like though is I love the LED rear light, which will again be on one of my previous videos. I don't like the look of that LED rear. It's yeah, bang up to date I guess. And I'll just perhaps finish off with that shaft drive. Sorry about the tacky power commander sticker on there. I don't know whether to take it off or not. It hasn't got the tyre pressure label on that they usually come with. Shaft drive. First shaft drive bike I've owned. Ridden others, but the first one I've owned. And quite honestly, you do forget it's a shaft drive bike. And I think one of the accolades to Honda for their shaft drive system is that, yeah, you just don't even know that it's not a chain. Even lads that have ridden the bike, and I haven't mentioned the shaft drive to them when we've swapped bikes, not one of them has actually come back and said, oh yeah, it feels a bit different having a shaft drive. They've not even mentioned it. So I think that's quite good. The only time I actually feel anything from the shaft drive is just when you've got that very light throttle at around about 25-30, when this is a VFR that does still have a bit of a slight fuel initial, even though it's got the power commander. Just on a light throttle it just shunts a little bit, and you can just feel an odd bit of backlash from the shaft drive. Now whether that's because of the shaft drive or because of the fueling, I really don't know. So that's perhaps the only time that I actually notice it's actually got a shaft drive. So I think that's about it actually. I was hoping to cover everything in the first video, but it was going on a bit, so if I've missed anything, please make a comment and let me know. Thank you very much for watching.